This conference will now be recorded.
We are discussing Power Query. In the Power Query last class, we discussed about filters in the Power Query. So far in Power Query, we are done with 3 classes. In the 3 classes, we are done with introduction to Power Query and filters in the Power Query. We discussed about data types also, and then we started discussing about filters and we completed the filters. Today's class is class number 4. Class 4. In the class 4, what we are going to discuss is inbuilt column transformations. Let's see what are the inbuilt column transformations we're going to discuss. First, I'll copy paste them, what I'm going to discuss, and then we'll discuss one by one. I'm just going and copying what are the inbuilt column transformations we have. I'll copy them. These are the different inbuilt column transformations we have. I'll just copy and we'll discuss one by one. So in the list, first inbuilt column transformation we'll be discussing about is remove column or remove other columns. I'll open Power Query to discuss this inbuilt column transformations. I'll go to Power Query and I'll bring couple of tables. How to bring the tables here is to bring the tables. First go to Power Query. How to go to Power Query means go to Home tab, click on what? Transform data. It will open the Power Query software. Here let's bring couple of tables. First bring, I'll just first bring all the tables. Sample Superstore. I'll bring couple of tables. Orders, people's, returns table, or else just bring orders table for now. I just need orders table and bring some more tables from another Excel file. New source, Excel. This time go to Power Query, Power Query source files. There is one Excel file with the name called what? Column transformations. I'll open that Excel file and I'll bring couple of tables from this Excel file. From this table, I'll bring some tables like column transformations, transpose, unpivot and pivot, and text. Please come in. This 4 tables I'm selecting. Just press OK. 4 tables we bought it. Fine. So now I have some tables. Just do the basic transformations. In the unpivot and pivot table, the first row is not data. The first row is what here? Header. I'll just move the first row as header. Go to the home tab, click on what? Use first row as header. Now header is properly populated. In the text tab, text, there is one table with the name text. In the table also first row is not data, first row is also header. How to move this to the header is, again click on use first row as header. Okay, fine. So I just did some basic format transformations now. Let's start one by one. So first transformation, uh, column transformation I'll be discussing is in the home tab. When I go to manage columns, when I go to remove columns, you have two options: remove column and remove other columns. We'll talk about this. There are sometimes client will provide the tables for you in the sources. The tables will have hundreds of columns or tens of columns will be there. Let's take an example. My client provided some tables here. My client provided some tables. In the tables, I have lot of columns. Let's say 50 columns are there in the table. So when client provided a table with lot of columns, they don't ask us to show all the columns data in the report. So even though the table is having 50 columns or something, generally client will not ask you to show all the 50 columns data. They might ask us to show only 5 columns data. Only how many columns data they might ask us to show in the reports? 5 columns data. There are two ways to you. One way, load all the 50 columns, bring all the 50 columns, load it to the Power Pivot, use 5 columns. Second way, bring a table to Power Query and in Power Query remove the 45 columns and keep only 5 columns, load only 5 columns, use that 5 columns in the report. Which one is best? Second one is best. So always into the power pivot, we know we need to load only the data that is required for what? Analysis. What columns I need in the reports, only that columns I need to load into the power pivot. So lot of times when client provided the tables, you will have a lot of columns. For now, I'll just give an example of orders table. My client provided the orders table. Using the orders table, my client is asking to create only two visuals. One is show the complete sales. Second one is show region wise sales. Using the uh, orders table, what analysis my client is asking to perform is, one is what? Complete sales. Second one is what? Region wise sales. To show complete sales and region wise sales, I can load the orders table as it is. The orders table currently contains how many columns? 21 columns. When I click on close and apply into Power Pivot, how many columns it will load? All 21 columns it will load. When I click on close and apply, by default, when I go and check in the Power Pivot, you can find 21 columns. So let me go and check it. One way you can load all the columns, and we can, with one way I can load all the columns. How many columns it loaded is all the 21 columns it loaded, no doubt in it. Out of 21 columns, I can just go and take one card visual. I'll go to the orders table. I can drag first information they're asking to show is what? Sales. I can show complete sales. What is the complete sales? 2.3 million. Next one, I can show region wise sales. I can take another visual here. I can go and drag region. I can go and drag sales, region and sales. Now tell me, to show this information, how many in the orders table, how many columns you use to show this information? How many columns I used? Just two columns. Totally you loaded how many columns in the orders table currently means 21 columns. What is the need of 21 columns here? Out of 21 columns, how many columns you are using? Only two. So remaining 19 columns you are not using in the visual. What is the need of keeping them? Better you can go and remove those columns. What you can do? Better you can go and remove even if you load the columns, the problem is it will waste your space. It will waste what? Power pivot space. Power pivot is a database. You need to carefully save the space. So the two major ways to save the space in the power pivot is, one major way, remove the unwanted columns. So saving the space is important in power pivot. One way to save space, it's common guys, client will give the tables which contains sometimes 100 columns also. Table will have how many columns? 100 columns. Out of 100 columns, hardly client might ask us to show in the reports only 10 columns. So that time better not to load 100 columns, only load how many columns? 10 columns which we need in the reports. Remaining all the columns you need to remove in where? Power Core. One way to save the space in the power pivot, to save space in power pivot is, one way, remove unwanted columns. Remove, I'll show you how to remove the unwanted columns. Remove unwanted columns. Second way to save the space in power pivot is, remove unwanted rows. Remove unwanted rows. Unwanted rows. Take an example. In my source SQL Server, I have a sales table. In the sales table, I have 20 years data. How many years data I have in the sales table? 20 years data. 20 years, how many sales transactions I have is 100 million sales transactions I have. How many sales transactions? 100 million rows or 100 million sales transactions are there. But my client is asking to generate the reports only on last 1 year data. In the reports, client is asking to show how many years data? Only 1 year. One way you can bring this 20 years table, you can load all the 20 years table, 100 million records, and you can filter the data in the power view and you can show 1 year data. Second way, better to load, instead of 20 years data, better to load how many years data? 1 year data. How to load only 1 year? See, I said that 20 years means 100 million. Let's say 1 year means it might be around 5 million or something. How to load only 5 million records out of 100 million records here? How to load? Out of 100 million records, I want to load only 1 million record. How to load it? But what we need to do is, so I already discussed about a concept called what here? Filters. So filters will remove unwanted rows. Here, so the two major ways to save the space in the power pivot is, remove what? Unwanted columns. Lot of unwanted columns will be there when client provided. So I'll show you how to remove the unwanted columns. These four options will help us to remove the unwanted columns. I'll talk about that option. Another one is what? Remove unwanted rows. So there are sometimes millions of records are there, 100 million rows are there, but they don't expect to see all the 100 million rows data in the reports. They might expect to see only 5 million rows here. How to load only that 5 million rows to the Power Pivot is using what here?
Using filters.
Right. So using filters. These are the two ways we can save the space. When you save the space, obviously performance will increase, guys. So they'll ask you in the interview how to improve the performance. You can tell these 2 points. Remove unwanted columns in the Power Query, remove unwanted rows in the Power Query. Right. Now let's see how to remove the unwanted columns. In order to remove that columns, go to Power Query, transform data. In the orders table, I need to remove the columns. If you want to remove, let's say in the orders table currently how many columns are there? 21. Out of 21, I want to remove row ID column and order ID column. Let's say only 2 columns I need to remove. In order to remove only 2 columns, select the 2 columns, go to remove columns, click on remove columns. When I click on remove columns, how many columns it will remove means only selected columns. How can you select multiple columns means hold the control button and select the multiple columns. Click on remove columns. When I click on remove columns, it will remove 2 columns and it will keep how many columns now? 19 columns. Let's say this time the requirement is I want to keep only 2 columns. One is region, second one is what? Sales. I want to remove how many columns now? 19. Instead of going and selecting 19 columns, instead of going and selecting remove columns, I can use what? Remove other columns. Which 2 columns I can select is one is region, hold the control button, and second one is sales. Then this time I'll go and click on remove other columns. When I click on remove other columns, except the 2 columns, all other columns got removed. 19 columns got removed. Right. Whenever we need to remove a less number of columns, remove columns is best. Let's say I want to remove only 2 columns, then which is best? No. Whenever we need to remove more columns, remove other columns is best. This time, as I want only 2 columns, I will prefer remove other columns. I'm just selecting region and I'm just selecting sales and go and click on remove other columns. When I click on close and apply now into Power Pivot, how many columns data it will load now? Only 2 columns data. Only 2 columns data. Go and check your orders table now. It contains region and sales. Are we able to show region and category region wise sales? Yes. Now my client is asking to show category wise sales. How to show category wise sales now? When I go and check the orders table, do you have category column now? No. So yes, you can bring it. So there are some times initially they might ask us to show only this. Later on they might ask us to show some new information. In order to show that new information, what is the additional column you need here? Category column. How to bring that category column is go to where? Power Query. Again, you need to go to where? Power Query. Go to the step where you remove the columns. I remove the column in the 5th step. Go to the 5th step. There is a settings icon. When I go and click on that settings icon, which column I need now? Already you have region column and sales column. What is the other column I need here?
Category.
Category
Category.
column. Go and select the category column now. Just press. Okay. Now when I go and click on close and apply, that category column also will get into where? Power Pivot. Power Pivot. Now I can show what category wise sales or not. I can take another visual. I can drag the category. I can drag the sales. At any time, you just first blindly remove the columns which you think that you don't need. Later on, if you think that you need that columns, you can bring it easily. How to bring it is go to that step and select the checkbox for which columns you need. At any time, you can bring it back again. Fine. Now, there are sometimes hundreds of columns will be there. Out of hundreds of columns, I want 5 columns. Take an example. 100 columns are there. Out of 100 columns, I need to keep 5 columns. I need to remove 95 columns. When you want to do that, which one you will prefer out of these 2 options? Remove other
Remove
columns.
other
Even
columns.
remove other columns is difficult. So going and searching for the 5 columns in the 100 columns by scrolling like this is a difficult activity. So when it is 20 columns, might be you can search it. When it is 100 columns, in 100 columns, searching for the 5 columns by scrolling like this is a time taking process. What is the other easy way is, let's say I want columns like country, state, city, sales, profit. How many columns I need? 5 columns. How can you get it is country. You need to scroll like this and you need to search where country is there. When you have more columns, when you are searching like this, you might miss the column also. Again, you need to go back. Again, you need to search it. country, state, city, and again scroll it, sales, and again scroll and select what? Profit. Then you can go and click on what? Remove other columns. Then you can get the 5 columns. So this way, scrolling and selecting the columns is a time taking process. What is the other way to easily do that is go and click on what? Choose columns. There is another option with the name called what? Choose columns. When I go and click on choose columns here, it will show all the columns in the list format. Now now the list is in which order? Means natural order. The list is sorting in which order now? Natural order. Natural order means what is the first column you have in the orders table? Row ID. What is the second column? Order ID. Third column? Order date. So 1, 2, 3. This is natural order, source order. So there are sometimes to select the columns in the natural order, it is difficult. Let's say I want to select how many columns now? Uncheck all the columns. How many columns you need to keep? 5 columns. What is the first column? Country. What is the second column? State. Third column? City. Fourth column? Sales. Fifth column? Profit. When they are not in the proper order, alphabetical order, sometimes searching a column in a bigger list, again here also difficult. What is the second easiest way to search the columns is name. Before we go there, when I press OK, it will keep only that 5 columns. It got remove all other columns or not? Now you have how many columns? 5 columns. Even easy way to select the columns here is go to choose columns. In the choose columns, you can sort the columns based on the name, alphabetical order. When I go here, click on name, it is sorting the columns which order? A to Z. When the columns are in A to Z, what is the first column I need to keep? Country. It will be there on C. What is the second column you need to keep? State. PQRS. Directly go to S. What is the third column you want? City. Again what? Sales. Again what? Profit. When they're in alphabetical order, searching the columns is easy, guys. Searching the columns is easy. When I press OK, only that columns it will keep. Remaining all columns it got removed. Right. So you can even sort them based on the order. Choose columns is the best way to remove the columns when you have a bigger list. When you have a bigger list, all these are for removing the columns only. Remove columns, remove other columns, or choose columns. Next one is what? Go to column. What is the purpose of go to column is go to column. Let's say you can even use search bar also here. While removing the columns in the choose columns, you can utilize what? Search bar also. What is the first column you need? Country. What is the second column you need? State. What is the third column I need? City. You can search it. Sometimes when you have a bigger list, even searching is fine. What is the next column we need is sales. And last column we need is profit. When I search it, when I select the columns, now all the columns I selected, when I press OK, it will remove all other columns except the selected columns. Yes or no? The next one is, what is that one you have? Go to column. Let's say I want to go filter the data in the region column. In the orders table, I need to filter the data in the region column, and I want to show only central region data. When I want to show only central region data, I need to apply the filter. So to apply the filter on region column, I need to scroll like this. I need to search for the region column. As I said that when I scroll like this, when I search for the region column, there is a chance we will miss the column. What is the easiest way to go to the region column is go go here, click on what? Go to column. It will show all the columns in the list. If by default it will sort the columns in which order? Natural order. Instead of that, you can even sort based on what? Name. When you sort it based on name, region, PQR, directly go and select region and press OK. Now I landed in which column? Region column. Directly you will go and land in region column. Let's say I want to filter the data based on order date column. To go to order date, how to go to order date easily is, rather than scrolling like this, what is the best way? Go to column. Which column I need to go? Order date. Just select order date, press OK. I'm landing in which column now? Order date. With one click you can land there. Right. So we understand how to remove the columns, remove other columns, choose columns, and go to columns. Next one is renaming the column. There are sometimes we need to give the proper name to the columns. Let's take an example. I have ship date and order date. I want to derive number of days for delivering the product. What we need to derive? Number of days taken for delivering the product. Order was placed on 8th November. Order was delivered on 11th November. How many days it taken? 3 days. I want to derive that number of days, guys. How many days it got? So how to get the difference between the two dates is ship date minus order date. First select which column? Ship date. Then select which column? Order date, then go to which tab? Add column tab. Date, there is an option called what? Subtract days. I know that to get ship date minus order date, we need to use an option called what? Subtract days. So add column date, you will find it. When I go and click on subtract days, it is doing ship date minus what? Order date. When it do ship date minus order date, how many days first order is taking? 3 days. But what is the column name you are getting? Subtraction. Can I leave the column name like this? No, it is not recommended. Better to give the proper name to this column. How can you change the name of the column is? Select the column, go to the transform tab. There is a option called what? Rename. Select this, click on rename. When I click on rename, it will allow us to change the name. You can give any name. I'm just giving number of days, guys. Number of days. What is the another way to change this column is? Right click, whatever the options you can find in the ribbon. One important point you need to understand. Whatever the options you can find in the ribbon, you can find in the right click also. Let's say I want to remove row id column and order id column. To remove row id column and order id column, select these two columns, go to home tab, click on which option? Remove columns. The same options. This is ribbon. This is ribbon. Instead of ribbon, you can find same GUI options when you right click also. Where you can find it? Right click. When you right click on it, there is an option called what? Remove columns. Either you can use remove columns from here, or either you can use remove columns from here. Both are same. This one we call it as ribbon. Ribbon. This one we call it as right click options. Which options? Right. So whatever you find here, this option and this option are same. Okay. Now to rename the column, another way to rename the column is one way, select the column, go to transform tab, use the option in the ribbon. Second way, whatever the options you have in the ribbon, where you can find them? Right click. When I right click, you are finding what? Rename. Is it allowing to change the name? Yes. What is the even other easy way to change the name of the column is double click on the column. When you double click on the column, it will allow you to change the name. You can give whatever the name you want. Okay. So many ways to do the same work. You will have many ways. Anyways, same. You rename the column. So next one is reorder the column. We seen what? Renaming the column. Next one is what? Reorder the columns. See, this number of days is related to which two columns? You derived a column called number of days. It is related to order date and ship date. Better to have that column after where? Ship date. Better to have that column after where? Ship date. By default, when you derive any column, you will get at the end. Where you will get it? End. How can you move to there means to move the columns, to reorder the columns. Next option we are trying to understand is what? Reordering the columns or sorting the columns, changing the order of the columns. In order to change the columns, select the column name, go to the transform tab. There is an option called what? Move to the left, move to the right, move to the beginning, move to the end. Four options are there. Move to the left means this column will move one step left. Move to the right means one step right. Move to the beginning means this column go to the first column. Move to the end means this column will go to where? Last column. Now my requirement is almost I need to move this column to the starting. What is the option I need to use? Move to the beginning. When I click on to the beginning, you got it to the first column. Now you need to move this one column, second column, third column, and fourth column. After which column you need to move this? Fourth column. How to move this column after the fourth column is to move this column after fourth column. So you need to click on move right for multiple times. Move right for how many times? One, two, three, four. Clicking on move right for 4 times is a time taking process. What is the second way is select the column with the mouse, hold the column with the mouse, start moving it. I hold this column with the mouse. When you start moving it, now you are seeing one black line. When you leave this column here, you will get this column after which column? Order date. I don't want after order date. I want where? Ship date. Leave now. Now after ship date, you got which column? Number of days. There are two ways to move the column. One way, select with the mouse and start moving it. Second way, select the column, go to move and use the options. Whatever the options you can find in the ribbon, where you can even find them. Right click, move. The same options are you seeing here or not? Yes. Right. Reordering the columns. The next one is we'll talk about one option called column from examples. What is that? Column from examples. What is this column from examples is? Understand here. My requirement is I need to derive year from the order date. In Power Query, order date column is there. From order date column, I need to derive the year. In the Power Query, what is the easiest way to derive any output is using the GUI options, guys. Using what? GUI options. What is the best way to derive the year from the order date is select the order date column, go to add column tab. In the add column tab, go to date, click on year. There is a GUI option called what? Year. When I go on click on year, from the order date, it got derived which column now? Year column. So it added one new step. Behind that step, it is writing which language code here? Mashup language code. That mashup language code will derive what? Yeah. The best way to derive any output in the Power Query is with one click using an option called what? Geo option. Yes or no? Yes. So what is the M language code it is writing is date.year is the M language function. To that function, which column they're passing? Order date. From the order date, it will derive what? Year. Right. The second way, sometimes what happens is you might forget the GUI option where it is. There are dozens of GUI options. So out of dozens of GUI options, I don't remember where the GUI option is available, how to derive the year. Or else, let's say you don't have a GUI option. What is the second easiest way to derive any output is using an option called what? Column from examples. First easiest way is if you know what? GUI option, just go and click on it. You'll get the output. My requirement is I need to derive the year from order date. When I go to add column, when I go to date, when I go and just click on year, you'll get what? Year. What is the second easiest way is using an option called what? Column from examples. If you don't remember the GUI option, if you don't have any GUI option, then you need to utilize which option here? Column from examples. From order date, I need to derive what in the output now? Year, right? In order to derive the year, select the source column first and then go to add column. Go to where? Column from examples. Why I am going for column from examples is I don't remember the GUI option or we don't have a GUI option. There are sometimes you don't remember it. There are sometimes you don't find the GUI option. Then the best way to get that output is using what? Column from examples. Go to the column from examples. So you want the output from all the columns in the orders table or only selected column? Selected column. So you want the output, currently 23 columns are there. You don't want to derive the output from 23 columns. You need to derive the output for what? Order date. What is the best option to choose here? From selection. Now source column will be selected and it will give the target column for you. Source column is selected as what column here? Order date. What is the target column? It given with the name column 1 for now. It will rename. So you see for now it is column 1. And in the target column, what they are asking to do is enter sample values to create a new column. So from this, what is the value you are planning to derive for the first row? Year. What is that year? 2016. For this row, what is the value you are planning to derive? 2014. For this row, what is the value you are planning to get? 2017. Go and supply some sample values in the target column. Enter some sample values in the new column or target column which you got. I want here what? 2016. As soon as I go and enter one sample value here, Power Query will understand what I'm trying to get. When I go and enter, it is writing M language code what? Date dot year. Which column it is passing? Order date. From the order date, it will derive what? Year. Is it the output you are expecting here? Yes. If it is the output you are expecting, either you can click on Control plus Enter, either you can click on what? Okay. When I press OK, a new column will get. What is the column it got derived? Year dot one. Already as year is there, it was derived with what? Year dot one. Otherwise, it will give year only. Right. Like this, second easiest way to get any output is using what? Column from examples. Let me give another example now. I have a customer ID column. I want the text which is before hyphen. I want to derive a new column. I want to show the text which is before hyphen. What you need here? CG. What you need for this row? DV. I want a text which is before hyphen. What is the first easiest way to get the output is in the ribbon, find out what? Geo option. With one click, you can get it. I know that. Select the customer ID column, go to add column, go to add column. What now? Uh, there is in the add column, there is something called what? Extract. There is an option called what? Text before delimiter. There is a geo option called what? Text before delimiter. When I click on text before delimiter, what is the delimiter in that column? Hyphen. Hyphen. Just give the hyphen, press OK. When I press OK, go and check it. You got one text which is before hyphen. What is that? CG. It got added one step. Behind the step, it written what language code here? M language code. What is the M language function it is using? Text dot before delimiter from which column? Customer ID. What is the delimiter? Hyphen. So this one. If you remember the GUI option, better to get it using GUI option. If I don't remember the GUI option, what is the second easiest way to get that output? Let's say now I want text which is before delimiter from the customer ID column. What is the second easiest way to get that output is? Select the column, go to add column. Which option here? From all columns or from selection? From selection, it selected source column. It will give the target column. What you need to enter here? CG. Type whatever you want. As soon as I type one sample value, Power Query understand what I'm planning to get. Text to dot before delimiter customer ID hyphen. Before hyphen, whatever the text is there, that is what we are expecting. Is it the one? Yes. When it is the one, what you can do now? Just press OK or Control plus Enter. Press OK. When you press OK, you got this output, guys. Anyway, is fine. GUI option is same. Column from example. If you don't find the GUI option, or if you don't remember the GUI option, if you know how to utilize column from examples, you can get the output, guys. Now tell me, from customer name, I need to derive the new column with first five characters. How many characters I want? First five characters I need to derive. How to get the first five characters from the customer name is select the customer name column. Again, same story. Try to find out the GUI option. Go to add column, extract. There is an option called what? First characters. First characters. What is the count of characters? 5. When I press OK, it will add a new step. It will give the first five characters. What is the M language code it is writing in the backend? Text to dot start from which column? Customer name. How many characters? Five characters. Starting five characters. CLA IR. So now let's say I don't remember the GUI option. What is the second way? Select which column now? Customer name. Then add column. Column from examples. Then from selection. What are the first? It got selected the source column. It given the target column. What? CLA IR. When I enter this, just carefully observe. I enter one sample value. Go and look at the M language code. Text to dot before delimiter customer name. What is the delimiter it is selecting? What it is thinking is, it is thinking that you are expecting a text which is before what? CLAIR is there before E, S is there before E, A and DR is there before E. What it is giving in the output now? Text which is before E. Is it the output you are expecting in the column? No. What you are expecting here? Five characters. There are sometimes when you enter one sample value, you will be thinking in one way, Power Query will be thinking in another way. So here it is not thinking wrong. It is thinking that you are expecting a text which is before what? E. It's also one scenario, but that is not the one we are expecting. We are expecting five characters. Now you need to change the mind of Power Query. How can you change the mind of Power Queries? You can go and supply some more sample values. What you can do now? In one of that sample value, go and enter that E also. When I go and enter the E now, just look at here. When I go and enter the E, it changed the mind and it return another code. What is the code it is writing? Text dot start customer name 5 characters. Is it the output you are expecting? Yes. There are sometimes when you enter one sample value, you might get the output. There are sometimes you might need to enter what? Multiple sample values. Just press OK. Like this, you can derive the output using column from examples also easily. The first easiest way to get the output, as I said, is using what? GUI option. Second easiest way is what? Column from examples. Worst cases, you might not get the output using GUI options and column from examples. Then you need to go with a third option called what? Custom column. When you go to custom column, in the same add column, there is an option called what? Custom column. Mostly 99% of time, 99.9% of time, we can get our output using what? GUI options, or else what? Column from examples. Worst case, if these two options are not working for you, then your option is what? Custom column. Let's say I want to derive, I'll give you a simple example, guys. I want to derive the year from the order date. I don't find the GUI option. I don't find the column from examples. What is the next way I'm telling? Custom column. When I click on custom column, it will open a custom column window where it is asking to write what? Custom column formula. Here we need to write the code. Who need to write the code now? Developer need to write the code. When you go with any GUI option, who will write the code means? Power Query will write the code. When you go with column from examples, who will write the code means? Power Query will write the code. When I go with custom column, who need to write the code means? Developer need to write the code. When So I can confidently tell that we don't write any code here in the Power Query to derive the output. We can get it using GUI options as well as what? Column from examples only. Even though you want to get that output by writing the code, you no need to go and learn complete M language. In which language you need to write the code here? Mashup language. I can tell you how learning Java is difficult. Even learning mashup language is also equally difficult. So going and learning mashup language completely might take 3 months, 4 months of time. No doubt in it, but not necessary here. For some reasons, if you want some output, if you want to write the code, I'll strictly tell you utilize the Google. Utilize the Google. Now my requirement is in the Power Query, I need to derive the year from the order date column. What you need to derive now? From order date, you need to derive the year. What mashup language code I need to write here? I am telling here we need to utilize what to get the code? Google. So just open the search engine and search for M language code or function. M language code or M language function to get year from where? Date. From year from the date. How can you get the year from the date is it will show some help documents here. Open one of the help document, which is the M language function you need to use. Date dot year. Remember, M is a case sensitive language. The function D you need to mandatorily give in uppercase. First character of every word must and should you need to write in which case? Uppercase. Remaining characters you need to write it in what? Lowercase. The functions are case sensitive. You need to give in the same case. So what is the function I need to use here is I want to derive year. You can give any column name. What is the column name I'm giving? Custom year. You want to write custom column formula. So here, so what is the M language function? They said that date dot year. You can type completely and open the bracket. It will tell you need to pass the date column from where you need to derive the year. From which date column? Order date. Keep the mouse here, cursor here, and click on which column? Order date. When I click on order date, you will get the order date column here and close the bracket. Close the bracket and just press what? Okay. When I press OK, you got the year or not? Yes. This is the last way you need to prefer. Let's say I need to get the text which is before delimiter hyphen. Customer ID is there. The text which is before hyphen. This time I don't have a GUI option. I don't have a column from examples. What you need to go with now? Custom column. So I'll just go to orders table, go to add column, click on which column now? Custom column. I want the text which is before hyphen. Custom text I want. Let's write any column name. You want to write the function. I said that to get the code, what you need to utilize here? M language to code to get what now? Text before delimiter. What? Text before any delimiter. When I go and search it, you might find the help guys here. You can just open that function. You can see the code also there. You need to write text before delimiter, text column. What is the delimiter? Here, let me write the same code. What is the function name? Text dot before delimiter. Open the parenthesis. Text column. From which text column? Keep the cursor here. Click on which column? Customer ID. Once after the text, second argument is what? Delimiter. What is the delimiter there? Hyphen. Any text you need to give it in double quotes. Hyphen and close the bracket and run this code. Are you getting the text which is before delimiter? Custom text. You got it. So like this, any output, you can find the code in the Google, copy the code and use it. I want to get first 5 characters from the customer name. To get it, again what? Go to add column, click on what? Custom column. If you don't find what? GUI options or column from examples, then only we'll go with what? Custom column. So I want custom 5 characters. To get the custom 5 characters, so what is the function? Text dot start. Text dot start function. Open the bracket, and first one is text column. From which text column? Customer name, comma. Second argument is what? Count. How many characters? 5. Close the bracket and run it. It's a simple code, guys. Again, are you getting first 5 characters or not? Yes. Like this. Lastly, you need to prefer what to get the output is custom column. We call them as add column or custom column. When add column or custom column, developer need to write which language code? M language code with the help of using what? Google, no doubt. You can even tell to the interviewer also. Let's say, so learning Java is M language is difficult. It is equivalent to Java again. No one can learn. Just tell them if there is any requirement, we'll go to the Google and we'll get the M language code. We will use it in where? Custom call. Right. Fine. So the next one we'll discuss about is duplicate column. To explain the duplicate, before I go and explain the duplicate column, I'll give you a requirement here. One important interview question they'll ask you is, in the add column, you have a couple of options here, which I highlighted in this box. Whatever the options I highlighted in this box, the same options you can even, now currently I'm in which tab? Add column tab. You find some text transformations, number transformations, and what? Date and time transformations. The same transformations you can even find in where? Transform tab also. When I go to the transform tab, same text transformations, number transformations, and date transformations, you will have it. They'll ask you, what is the difference between text transform tab and what? Add column tab. So in every interview, they'll ask this question. In Power Query, in the add column tab, you will find the same options what we are seeing here, or what we are seeing here. Even in the transform tab, you can find the same options what I highlighted in this box. Why we have in the two places same options? What is the difference between transform tab and add column tab is, understand, I have a customer name column. I need to convert the customer name to uppercase. I don't want to disturb the existing column. I want the result in the new column. In the new column, I need what? Customer name in where? Uppercase. I want to keep this column as it is here. I don't want to disturb it. Whenever we need a new column, if you want to keep the existing column as it is, you need to go to where? Add column.
Add
Go to
column.
add column. Go to add column. Click on which column? Customer name. Customer name is what data type? Text. Where you need to go? From text. In the format, you'll find an option called what? Uppercase. When I click on uppercase, you got a new column and customer name in that column is in uppercase. When I go and check the customer name column, still that customer name column will be there as it is here. Yes or no? Yes. Second requirement is, I don't want the result in the new column. I want to convert this customer name into what? Uppercase. I want this column into uppercase. For that, you need to select the column where you need to do it. Transform where? Text column, format, click on what? Uppercase. Now you got the customer name in uppercase in the same column. Yes or no? Yes. Second requirement is, I have an order date. From the order date, I need to derive the year. I need the year in the new column. I need year in which column? New column. When you want the year in the new column, where you need to derive the output? Add column. Where I need to go, order date is what data type column? Date. Where I need to check the option? Date and time. Date and time. So go and click on here. Click on what? Year. Will you get the year in the new column or same column? New column. Why? Because I'm doing in where? Add column tab. When I click on year you are getting in the new column. Second requirement you'll have is, I don't want to keep the order date column. Wherever date is there, I want to derive what now? Year. I want to derive the year. How to derive the year here itself means, select this order date column, go to transform tab. Where again? Date and time. What again now? Year. Now where you are getting the year is same column. Right? So like this, whenever we need the output in the new column, we need to work in where? Add column. Whenever we need the output in the same column, we need to work in where? Transform tab. Now tell me, I want to round the sales values. Sales column is there. I want to round the sales values, and I want that sales rounded sales values in the same column. When the after decimal place, when the number is greater than or equal to 5, next number. After decimal place, when the number is less than 5, same number. I want to round the sales values. I want the result in the same column. Where you need to do it? Transform tab. Select the
Transform.
sales column. What data type it is? Number. Go to transform tab. Where I need to go? Number column. So there is something called what here? Rounding. There will be an option where you can round the values. When I go and do it in the transform tab, where you can find the result? Same column. Let me show you. Select this column. Go to rounding. I'm in which tab now? Transform. Go to rounding. Click on round. I need to round it to how many decimal places means? 0 decimal places. Okay. Now you got rounded values, not decimal places. You got the result in the same column. Why? Because transform tab. So when they ask the interview, when the interviewer asks, what is the difference between add column tab and transform tab? What you need to tell is, whenever you want the output in the same column, use the options in where? transfer. Whenever we want the output in the new column, use the options in where? Add column tab. That means to get the output in the same column, transform tab options. To get the output in the new column, add column tab options. Add column tab options. Now I have a requirement in the column transformations. In the column transformation, I have a shipping address column, guys. Which column you have? Shipping address. I want to split this shipping address into 3 columns. I want to keep the shipping address column as it is. From this, I want to derive the 3 columns separately. So what are the 3 columns I need to derive is, first one is town name, and next column I need to derive from this is city. Third column I need to derive it from is what? State. I want to keep this original shipping address column as it is. From this column I need to derive 3 columns: 1, 2, 3: town, city, and state. So whenever we need to keep the original column as it is, whenever you need the result in the new column, where you need to work? As I said
Add
that we need to
column.
work in where? Add column. To
Add column.
split one column into multiple columns, you need to have an option called split column. Which option might help us? Split column might help us. But unfortunately, when I go and check it in the add column tab, you don't find any option called split column. There is no doubt we don't have it. I know. So I search for, as I want the output in the 3 columns, new columns, and I go to add column. I'm trying to split one column into 3 columns with the help of which option? Split column. But I don't find it. But when I go to transform tab, there is an option called what? Split column. Split column option in Microsoft is providing in Power Query in which tab? Transform tab. But when I go and do the split column in the transform tab, what happens? It will give the result in the same column. It will not keep the original column. It will give the result only. Original column you will miss it. But the requirement is original column you need to preserve it now. So now look at here. When I select the shipping address, I want to split the column based on comma. When you want to split the column based on comma, go to split column. Comma is nothing but delimiter. What is that? Delimiter. When I click on by delimiter, you don't bother about it. It will automatically detect the delimiter, comma. It selected each occurrence of the delimiter. Each occurrence of the delimiter means for each comma one column it will get. So yes, this is right options. I'll discuss all those options. Press OK. Now when I press OK, now you got the place, city, and state. Place, let's take this as place, city, and state. But where is the original column? You don't have it. So unfortunately, original column is not there. Why original column is not there? You did it in transform tab. But I need to have the original column. What you can do this time is select the shipping address column, go to add column tab, click on what? Duplicate the column. When I click on duplicate the column, the original column will be there. You will get a duplicate copy of the column. I'm in which tab now? Add column, click on duplicate. So the original column, shipping address column is there as it is. Now you got a duplicate copy of the column. Now select the duplicate copy column. Go to which tab? Transform tab, split column by delimiter. Delimiter is what? Comma. Each comma one column. Press OK. Now you can go and rename this first column to place, second column to city, third column to state. State. Right. Now you got the 3 columns. Do you have original column now? Shipping address column? Yes. Right. We understand. There are sometimes we need to get a duplicate copy of the column. You can use an option called what? Duplicate column. Now let's talk about what now? Split column. Once after the duplicate column, we'll talk about what? Split column. Fine. So in the split column, I'll just go to transform tab, split column. First one is what? By delimiter. When I go to by delimiter, so automatically Power Query will detect the delimiter. So comma, colon, equal sign, semicolon, space, tab. If it is something else, let's say you have a column which contains Sunil at the rate Gmail. At the rate Gmail. I want Sunil in one column, gmail.com in another column. That means delimiter is what now? At the rate. So do you have at the rate delimiter in this list? No. You need to go with what? Custom. You need to
Custom.
select custom this time, and you need to give the delimiter as what? At the rate. If the delimiter is there in the list, we can choose it. So frequent delimiters will be this. If it is something else, go and click on custom and give the delimiter. For now, what is the delimiter for us? comma. So there is some options like split at leftmost delimiter. Leftmost delimiter. When I go and select leftmost delimiter, in the output you'll get two columns. You'll get from the left side first comma place in one column. Second column you'll get city comma state in another column. City comma state in another column. How many columns you'll get when I go with leftmost delimiter means only two columns. From the left side first comma one column, remaining text in another column. So when I go and select leftmost delimiter, when I press OK, two columns. Place in one column, city comma state in another column. Yes or no? Yes. Next one is rightmost delimiter. So I'm selecting it, split column by delimiter. Next one is what? Rightmost delimiter. Rightmost delimiter means from the right side first comma in one column, remaining text in another. This time place comma city in one column, state in another column. State in another column. So now rightmost delimiter also will give how many columns? Two columns. Next one is what? Each occurrence of the delimiter. Each occurrence of the delimiter means each comma, one column. Each comma. So you have two commas. Totally three columns you'll get it. First column, second column, and third column. Our requirement is what? Each occurrence of the delimiter. I want place in a separate column, city in a separate column, state in a separate column. Each occurrence of the delimiter. That is first option, guys. Split based on what? Delimiter. There are some times where we need to split the columns by number of characters. What is the second one you have? Number of characters. Let's take an example. I have a mobile number column. Let's bring one table called in the same Excel from sample superstore. I'll bring one table, people's table. Let's say I have a people's table here. Use first as header. Person and region is there. I'll add one extra column here, mobile number. Each region have one salesperson. West region salesperson name is there. And let's say you have a mobile number also. How to add the mobile number column is go to add column. I'll just go and add a dummy column. Click on custom column. What is the column I'm adding here is mobile. I'll just go and add the mobile number like this. I'm just adding one mobile number column here. Just a dummy column, guys. Just a dummy column. Press OK. So I added a mobile number with country code. You have first two characters country code. Remaining number is what? A mobile number. My requirement is I want to split this column into two columns. Country code in one column, number in another column. That means first two characters in one column, remaining 10 characters in another column. What? How you need to split it? Now select this column, go to the transform tab, split column. Can I go with by delimiter? You don't have any delimiter here. You need to go with what? By number of characters. Now tell me, what is the number of characters? Which option I need to choose here? Number of characters is how many? Which option I need to choose here? Hmm. Number of characters is how many I need to choose and which option I need to choose from here? Two. Which
No.
option?
Number of
Once
characters
as
two
far
and
as
first
left as
option.
possible. Once as far as left as possible. So I want only two columns in the output. When I go with two, when I click on repeatedly, every two characters it will show one column. Totally six columns you'll get. When I go with repeatedly, how many columns you are getting? Six columns. In every column, two characters. That is not the output I need. I need first two characters in one column, remaining text in another column. Select the column, split column by number of characters, two, once as left as far as possible. Once as far left as possible. When I press OK, only two characters in one column, remaining characters in another column. So there are some times where we need to split by position. We understand by delimiter, by number of characters. Next one is what? By positions. So positions means, let's take an example. I have an orders table. In the orders table, I want CA hyphen 201 in one column. Totally first six characters I want in column one. Column one, how many characters I want? Six. In the column two, I want 6 hyphen 1521, or else I want 6 hyphen 1521. Another how many characters here again? Or else 152. Just take 1 by 152. So again, how many characters here? Five characters. And last column I need is column 3, 156. What I need? 156. How many characters I need? 3. Totally, how many characters you have in this column? 14. 6 in one column, 5 in another column, 3 in another column. How to get 6 in one column, 5 in another column, 3 in another column? Will you get it using delimiter hyphen? No. Will you get it by number of characters? No. Even number of characters will not help you. Number of characters, either you will get 2 columns. Now I want 3 columns. Or in the number of characters, you will get multiple columns with same number. 2 characters, 2 characters, 2 characters. But this time 6, 5, 3. Different. Now this time, first 2 options will not work. You need to go with an option called what here? By position. Click on by position. So from in Power Query, index will start from 0. One important point you need to remember. First character index is what? 0. A is what? 1. Hyphen is what? 2. 2 is what? 3. 0 is what? 4. 1 is what? 5. 0 to 5 I need in one column. Second split need to start at where? Sixth. Sixth. 0. Second split need to start at where? 6. 6. So, and then this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Till 10, one column. From 11. What is the last bit here? 11. 0, start from 0 till 5. 0 to 5 means 6 characters. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 5 characters. 11, 12, 13, 14. Just press OK. How many columns you got? CA hyphen 201, 6 characters. 6 hyphen 152. How many characters? 5. And lastly, what? 3. Like this, by position, sometimes we'll split it. Right. So there are other options also. What are the other options you have is, now I have a column with the name called lowercase, uppercase, word. So here I want to split air into one word, plane into one word. So you have only one word. I want to split this into how many words? 2 words. So wherever uppercase is getting, there I need to split it. So uppercase is getting at where? P. I want air in one word, plane. So you want to split this. Wherever first lowercase text is there, followed by one uppercase is getting. Wherever uppercase is getting, I need to split it there. To split it, you can select this column, go to the transform tab, split by lowercase to what? Uppercase. You'll get text wherever lower is changing to where? Upper. I need to split there. You can select this column and you can just go and click on lower to upper. As soon as I split on lower to upper, what you are getting? Air in one and plane. Airport, right? You are getting 2 words or not? Previously, how many words you have here? Only one word called what? Here. So I want to split this one word into 2 words. Ball in one word, park in another word. How can you split it is? Select this, split column by lowercase to uppercase. Wherever lower is changing to where? Upper. There I need to split it. Go and select what? Lowercase to uppercase. In the same way, here I want to split I phone in one column, I in one column, pad in another column, iPod, fed in one column, EX in another column, E in one column, B in another column. How to split this time is, select this column. Again, one column I need to split into 2 columns. For that, what you need to go with? Split column. This time what? Uppercase to lowercase. Wherever the uppercase is changing immediately to lowercase, I need to split it. When I go and click on uppercase to lowercase, I in one column, phone, iPad, Pod, FedEx, and eBay. You got it or not? All right. The same way, you need to split text to number. So dog 1, dog 2, cat 1, cat 2. I want to do it in 2 columns. Text in one column, number in another column. How to split it now? Select this column, split column by what? Non-digit to digit. Non-digit. First text is there. Non-digit to digit. When I click on non-digit to digit, dog you are getting in one column, number you are getting in another column. This time I need to split this column into 2 columns. One I need in one column, dog I need in another column. Two I need in one column, cat I need in another column. How to split this? digit to non-digit, split column. This time what? By digit to non-digit. When I click on digit to non-digit, you got this results, right? Simple options, not complicated. Mostly we will use by delimiter or by number of characters. This pi position remaining, very rarely we might use it. We given an example, just remember that. Okay, this is about the split column. I'll stop here for today. So in tomorrow's class also we'll discuss column transformations for first 45 minutes. Few important column transformations are there, and then we'll discuss another topic called row transformations. I'll stop here. We'll go with couple of questions now.